In the heart of India, the stage is set for one of the most critical events in its democratic history. The 2024 Lok Sabha elections are upon us, and the entire nation is gearing up for a showdown that will determine the course of its future for the next 5 years. With 96 crore registered voters spread across 543 Lok Sabha constituencies, every vote counts in this monumental decision. But this time, the focus has shifted to the southern states, where 131 seats across 5 states and 2 union territories have become the battleground for political supremacy. Yet, southern India isn't just about politics. It's a powerhouse driving India's economic growth as well. Over the years, these southern states have learned the art of investment attraction. Favorable policies, robust infrastructure, availability of land, high retail growth, easier regulations, tax exemptions are also some of the factors that make the southern states more investment attractive. Easy access to ports in some of the coastal states also make transportation much easier, both domestically and internationally. Recently, G20 Sherpa and former CEO of Niti Aayog, Amitabh Kant, said that Tamil Nadu excels in manufacturing, Telangana has become a hub for pharmaceutical sector, and Kerala thrives on its tourism, while Karnataka has established itself as a service center of India, driving much of the nation's service economy. The 5 southern states of Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, and Kerala are also major contributors to India's economic growth. As per the Confederation of Indian Industries, or CII, the southern states will contribute 35% of India's $7 trillion economy by 2030, which roughly is around $2.5 trillion. With a robust infrastructure and skilled workforce, the southern states attract investors from across the globe. Names like Foxconn, Samsung, and Amazon are just a few of the giants who have decided to invest in this region. But amid the economic prowess, political dynamics in the area are also shifting. Political strategist and now political leader Prashant Kishore says that BJP will make significant inroads in southern and eastern states in 2024 elections. He says, "I see the BJP in double digits in Tamil Nadu in terms of vote share. It will also be the first or the second party in Telangana, which will be a big win for the party." Given the strong presence of the regional political satraps, the local level state politics has always managed to overpower the national mood. For instance, no national party has managed to make a mark in Tamil Nadu since 1967. BJP, which is usually known as a political party of the Hindi heartland, also learnt about southern politics when it saw success in Karnataka. But other states have still been an uphill task for the party. This time, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has taken it upon himself to intensify party's southern outreach, especially in states like Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and Telangana, where the party's strategies haven't seen much success in the past. But Tamil Nadu is very different, where the BJP never had a credible face all these years. By launching Annamalai as its firebrand political leader in Tamil Nadu, who is openly being backed and supported by Prime Minister Narendra Modi to counter the local Dravidian politics and forming alliance with around half a dozen regional parties in the state, the Prime Minister is confident that this time tables will turn. Take Coimbatore as an example, the constituency that Annamalai hopes to represent in 2024. In the last 2 elections in 2014 and 2019, the BJP was the number 2 party in the constituency. The party's vote share shot up after 2009 from a mere 4.6% to 33.62% in 2014 and then held around 31.5% vote share in 2019. But cutting through the Dravidian politics will not be easy, the ideology of which rests on regional pride, social justice, linguistic identity, human development, and industrial growth, which is far away from the Hindu-Muslim narrative and the Mandal politics of the northern states. In fact, by allying with the PMK, which represents the very popular and backward Vaniyar community in the state of Tamil Nadu, the BJP is trying very hard to shrug off its Brahmin upper caste image. But BJP's preparations in the southern state began almost 2 years back, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi installed the Sengol in the new Indian Parliament, a move which trumped many in the opposition ranks, especially the Congress party. Adding to that, the central government also organized the Kashi Tamil Sangamam and the Saurashtra Tamil Sangamam events in a bid to get closer to the Tamil community. In a recent interview to Thanti TV, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that the votes that the BJP and the NDA received aren't anti-DMK votes but are pro-BJP votes. He also alluded warmly to his special relationship with the late J. Jayalalitha, former Chief Minister and a cult figure in the politics of Tamil Nadu.
करीब 95 से अम्मा जयललिता जी से मेरा नाता रहा और एक अच्छे दोस्त के रूप में हम दोनों का संबंध रहा। मैं मुख्यमंत्री बना तो बहुत से लोग गुजरात में 2002 के चुनाव के बाद भांति भांति के मुझे आरोप लगाते थे। उस समय अम्मा गुजरात आई, मेरी शपथ संभाली।
Similarly, in Kerala, where the politics was usually a traditional two-party contest between the LDF and the UDF, the BJP is emerging as a third challenger by fronting prominent leaders such as Union Minister Rajiv Chandrasekhar, V. Muralidharan, and also the son of former Congress leader A.K. Antony, Anil Antony. The party and the Prime Minister have also been strongly wooing the dominant Christian community, hoping to create an impact. With strategic alliances and a focused agenda, the BJP hopes to reshape the southern narrative.
DMK तमिलनाडु को पुरानी सोच में, पुरानी पॉलिटिक्स में फंसाकर रखना चाहती है। पूरी डीएमके एक फैमिली की कंपनी बनकर रह गई है। डीएमके की फैमिली पॉलिटिक्स की वजह से तमिलनाडु के यूथ को आगे बढ़ने का मौका नहीं मिल रहा है।
As the countdown to the elections begins, all eyes are set on southern India, where history will be made and the future of India will be decided.